Course, after arriving in Hanoi for a one night stay in the city, I nearly got burnt to death because of the heat wave. But then today it was drowning in rain. You always love a nice cold rain from the sun just to really cool down everything. But today was a bit of a crazier storm, and this torrential rain may be the cause of my flight being delayed, which I am not really surprised how this goes. But oh yeah, well you here. Hello everyone. Welcome back to an awesome trip report as well. And today, while we're driving on my Grab car from my parents' house in Hanoi to Hanoi Noi International Airport, we're going to Terminal 1 where we going on the domestic departures. Of course, this truck just came out, but yeah. We're going to be flying on Vietnam Airlines back to TomSaviation International Airport. And yeah, this flight will be quite unique. So straddle in, let's go. Of course, with the rainy day, we came into a nice shaded area to cover from the rain. And after, getting my bags, stopping by, of course, I did get a message from Harley talking about the new fake Changi waterfall design, but I didn't have the time to check it look. But today, we are checking in for our flight back to Ho Chi Minh City on Vietnam Airlines flight VN 263 to Ho Chi Minh. Yes, the check-in counter is a bit crowded today, but I got myself through, including the boarding pass. But of course, they have made this sign here. But that's for flights to Australia, then you'd realize how serious things can get. After checking in, we got through security, was done very quickly, and I was heading to gate 9, but the gates changed because our aircraft just landed from Nha Trang and arrived at a different gate. And today we're flying on a special aircraft that you guys know from the video I posted in April, which is one of my favorite ones. Of course, one of the jets right here is Victor November-Alpha 868. And this photo was taken at the Vaco hangar in TomSaviation International Airport. I was one of the spotters who were invited to the Vietnam Airlines photo tour, and it was one of the most unique events I've ever taken. Now, let's talk about this jet in its history. Now, VNA 868 is also known as Vietnam 1. For a simple reason is that this Dreamliner carries a lot of our Vietnam's prime ministers, government members, even the president. The list goes on for many ministers flying on this aircraft. Now, of course, the ministers in Vietnam really prefer to lease VNA jets because I think it's cheaper. But still, they can just book out an entire business class seat cabin and nothing really worry. Of course, the jet was operated for multiple government missions, and most people spot it in really unique places like in Auckland, in Wellington, in New Zealand, in Cuba, in New York, all the way everywhere. But the jet just came home, and after operating multiple flights, it also was applied a beautiful sticker celebrating the 30th anniversary of Vietnam Airlines. The airline has been flying since 1995, and this year celebrates the 30th year of operations for this carrier. And today, this aircraft is gonna be my ride back to Ho Chi Minh City. This is the reason why I'm very excited for this one. We boarded down the aircraft, and of course, spotting the Airbus A320. I'll show you the bonus shot, but let's give you guys the information on the cabin of the 787. Vietnam Airlines' 3-class Dreamliners contain 28 business class seats using the Safran Series 3, 35 premium economy class seats using the Heiko Vector premium seats, the older gen, which is common on a lot of other Dreamliners, and of course 211 economy class seats using the Collins Aerospace Pinnacle seats. My seat today is 34A on board this Dreamliner back to Ho Chi Minh City. Welcome on board my seat for today's flight. You can have an entertainment monitor you can move, seat control, and of course the iFeed remote isn't there anymore. Legroom is really good. Tray table is folded 2 ways. You can have folded, slide it out, full folded. You can close it up, put it back, and then lock it in. You got your seat pocket contents. Down here, you have a universal power outlet, 2 per 3 seats. A iFeed screen that can be folded out when someone reclines with the USB for charging and headphone port overall. And of course, you have coat hook as well for the seat. On the seat, you have an adjustable air vent and reading light. In all seats on the Dreamliner, the headrest is adjustable. You can move it up And down, you can move the arms, open it and closing it. Of course, it's a really nice headrest as well. It uses a plusher material, so it didn't feel like you're putting your neck on a rock. Of course, you can also see the recline on this seat is really good. I really enjoyed this recline. I think it's good for sleeping as well. Before takeoff, the crew handed out some wet towels, which is a really nice touch to the service. Right now, we're on board the Dreamliner. It's been 8:30, but it's supposed to be departed by 8 p.m. to Ho Chi Minh, like an hour 40 minutes, 2-hour flight. Unfortunately, the weather in Hanoi just gotten pretty bad after a recent heat wave, then combined with a tactical drop of storms. Basically, we're on board, so we'll just wait for see how the flight's going. The good news is this plane does have universal power outlets on the seat, so at least I can charge my device while we'll wait for anything new, so I'll get an update later. Turns out my flight was delayed a little longer on the ground for 45 minutes due to storm. The crew came around and serving the milk tea. Of course, I pre-ordered my iced coffee, which is seen here, the milk coffee. This stuff tastes really good. It's strong, it has the sweet flavor. I do love Vietnamese coffee, and this thing hits really well in the sweet spot. Of course, since it is after 8 p.m. and since I drink this coffee, I basically have a powerful caffeine stimulant pumping into my body, so I couldn't really sleep at all. But overall, for 50,000 VND, this thing tastes amazing. In the meantime, on the ground, I was checking out Vietnam Airlines' in-flight entertainment. Of course, Vietnam Airlines uses the TAL's Up systems, and the system really has a nice touch screen. You can adjust it around, and you got like movie options. The new July release on Vietnam Airlines is a lot nicer. It has like really good options now, finally. And of course, considering it has like Marvel movies, I do enjoy it. But this is for different preferences. But it does have quite a lot of movies for a flight up to like 13 to 14 hours, but a flight like 16 hours to the US, which can be a bit challenging, but with all of these movies on board, I don't think you easily get bored with all of these options as well. Now, of course, with Vietnam Airlines recently introducing high-speed Wi-Fi powered by VNPT, unfortunately, this high-speed tech is only on the A350-900, which is a registration from 890 to 899. Now, with hopes, they are installing Wi-Fi on the 787s, so it's still a slow rollout. But overall, the IFE system is good.
Still really bad though.
Dear passengers, in preparation for takeoff, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened. Your seat back is in a fully upright position, your tray table is secured, and your window shade is open. We would like to remind you not to use headphones during takeoff or landing. Thank you.
khi bạn đang đi quay trở lại cánh.
Thưa quý khách, chúng tôi sẽ tỏ ánh sáng trên máy bay. Quý khách có thể sử dụng đèn đọc sách tại khu vực ghế ngồi. Xin cảm ơn. Dear passengers, we will dim the main cabin lights. The reading light button is located in your seat area. Thank you.
takeoff, the crew meal services start. Tonight, we're actually going to have a hot meal today, which is going to be excited. Let's try for here. Let's see what's inside the meal for tonight. Right here, we have the meal. Today, we have steamed chicken with nice sauce, along with the veggies and rice, along with jam and a teacup. Lovely meal to have for dinner. Overall, the portion is really great, and the meal tastes really delicious. It's the rear lavatory on board the 787. Of course, you got a nice fake wooden floor, has a large mirror, got all the stuff, including the flush button, which you can actually put your hand as a sensor to hold it. Here is my overall review of Vietnam Airlines Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner in economy class from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City. Let's start with the check-in. The check-in experience was done quick, even though there's a bit of a line, but overall check-in is done quick, and I did manage to get my bag checked in for the flight down to Ho Chi Minh City. And the airport itself, Hanoi T1, it's now used for domestic. It's still a little bit of an old terminal, but although it has plenty of shops for foods, drinks, and everything, although it costs way more than what it is outside the streets of Hanoi, but overall it is pretty decent. And of course, boarding was done, on time. And due to the weather, our flight was delayed 30 to 45 minutes due to the storm in Hanoi, with the torrential rain as well. But we managed to get the great food and drinks. Of course, the crew did proactively serve, milk tea first, so they don't need to serve it prior to landing, at least. But yeah, it was really good. The pre-ordered drink I got was really nice. It was really good. Now, the seat itself, it is a really good seat. Compare this to the previous seat on the other Dreamliner I've flown in for Hanoi. The without the touch screen, the panel on there, you don't need to accidentally press the wrong switches onto the IFE control, since now it's like a touch screen. But overall, I say this one is a lot. This seat is a bit better than on the seat's like, even though it's the same, but it's a bit better without the confusing touch panel on the armrest. And of course, we also talk about the crew. The crew on board were great. They were lovely. They were really helpful for all passengers. Of course, one of the crew savagely told a business class, another passenger sitting in my row, when he asked about why we were waiting too long, and she did tell him that, do we really need to fly to another destination and wait on the ground and stay overnight? Which ended up with some, please wait for the house. I do respect her for that one, and yeah, it was really funny. But of course, the service on board for today's flight was fantastic. I don't think there's any flaw to it. The service is really great. Although, to be honest, the flight today was really good. Everything seems to, be functional and really great. Although, considering that the flight was full today, but luckily with me picking the seat way earlier in advance, which prevents people from accidentally snatching my row due to the fact that I didn't select it during the managed booking. But of course, overall, I would say this flight is a solid 10 out of 10. The experience on board was really great, and the service on board really helps it, even despite the delay on the ground as well. we have arrived back to Tassie International Airport. It was really late, but we came off by bus and we're driven to Terminal 3, which I'm collecting my bags at around 11:30 p.m. last night. And I'm getting on my Grab to go back to my home. But of course, thank you for watching this trip report. I hope you do enjoy the content. And let me know what you guys want to see more coming up soon. And yes, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!